Hello, Tamily. It's time for episode 159. And our star today is Maria. You might also know her by her Instagram name, which is Burmy2. And we will get connected with her in just 1 second. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us, Maria. We're really excited to talk to you today.
Why?
So we have some questions planned for you, but of course we'll also take questions from the chat. So we've got some people joining in. If they want to type in the chat, we'll be sure to scroll through. But let's go ahead and start with our first favorite question, which is when and how did you get started with the Tracy Anderson method?
So I actually started after my second child. I gained a lot of weight with him. And literally my whole life has been like up and down with my weight. I was never able to keep it at the same, right? So after I had Nathan, I wanted to work out, right? I had lost like most of my weight. I was still kind of heavy. And I did treadmill, I did dieting, but I hit a plateau. And I didn't like to work out, honestly, to tell you the truth. I hated it. So the treadmill, walking and running was getting boring. So at that time, I was just doing like Pinterest and just scrolling down to see what workout, would motivate me to do something different than, walking the treadmill. So I found Tracy and I'm like, what is this girl doing with her arms? That looks so interesting. So I just started watching her and there was videos about her. And I'm like, oh my God, that looks so interesting. I'm like, that's not going to do any good to us. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try it. So I did it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is actually burning. So I started looking into more other than arms. And then I saw that she was watched videos about her and what she meant and what her method was about, and I was intrigued, right? Mind you, I didn't like to work out at all. So I at that time I think she was doing the metamorphosis.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time I didn't know if I was glucentric or omni, so I bought both.
Okay.
Started with Omni, and basically I started with that, and then I started with the cardio, which I really liked at that time, but it was repetitive because there was only one video for that 3 months. And after that, I went to that took it literally shocked my body. So I went from like, I think I was 150, and I did both. The glucentric and Omni, and I went to 125.
Oh my gosh.
It was insane. I'm like, oh my God. And I was just eating, watching what I was eating. I wasn't like doing anything different. I don't know if the cardio aspect helped, because I did try the muscular structure at that time. It was only 30 minutes, and then 30 minutes of that cardio that she had. And so I learned it by heart, the cardio, because there was only one cardio at that time. So I'm like, oh my God, I lost 23 pounds, and I was able to keep it off. So I went to continuity. I did a couple. I kind of like lagged a little bit in 2014, and I just kind of did the continuity year one, but not a lot. And then and it wasn't until 2014 that she actually She was actually staying in California. I don't know why, but she was here. So she had this jumpstart program that they were having that in November, where it was like a 30-minute lecture with her and a 60-minute math class right after her. And that was the first time I met her. Actually met her, but I saw her because the class was packed. But the fact that I lost the 25, 23, 25 pounds, it was amazing. And I saw things, and I saw changes in my body that I've never seen before. You know, it kind of like pulled me in areas where I needed to be pulled. So I was like even more intrigued about it, you know. And then that's how I got introduced to her.
That's amazing. So I think maybe streaming started in like 2015 or something. Did you go to streaming right away?
So after the Jumpstart program, I did 2 of those, and then she was talking about it. Her at that time, she talked about it during that chat, that she was launching something very big, and that it was coming very soon. But I didn't know what it was. She didn't say. She just said, "Oh, it's coming, and it's going to be amazing, and you guys are going to love it." So we were all excited, and so I had no idea. But in the meantime, there was November, so Christmas, my sister's like, "Hey, your girl is having a promotion in Guild, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna buy you something." So she bought me this it was a 1-month membership with Studio City, which is 15 classes of 15 classes of the studio. I had to go after 11, and then 1 master class with Tracy. And so that was the best gift ever. And then, hi guys. And so I started going to the studio in 2014. I'm sorry, 15, January 15th. Okay. And I went to my first class, to tell you the truth, it's kind of intimidating to go when you don't know anyone there. But everybody was so welcoming, and even though I didn't know anybody, I stuck myself. I went in the back, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go in the back. I'm not gonna bug anybody. So I was a little scared, but and then I had no idea what Catapult was. Nothing. I thought it was just the videos that she was, posting. So, and I asked the reception, Catapult, and what's Catalyst? She's like, Catapult is advanced cardio with all the the combos and the dances. So I stuck around and I said, holy shit, what is this? I had no idea. I mean, these girls were freaking kicking ass dancing, and I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is my jam. I loved it. I'm like, even though I don't know any of the dances, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do my best and learn. So I think Kristen asked what made you join the studio, and my first answer was cardio. I was, being a mom, working mom with 2 kids, not really having a social life other than your family. That 2 hours was like me going to a club and having the best time. Don't worry about anything. I didn't worry about my kids. I didn't worry about problems. Those 2 hours literally were like it was like a rush. I can't explain it. It was just, and it was like, I my God, I'm in love. I cannot go away, because I live kind of far from the studio. I live about away, so I don't live close. So after I went, and I was like, okay, I'm determined to learn these goddamn dances, even if I have, whatever it takes. So at that time, they had cardio breakdowns. So I would come every Wednesday, and they would do a 30-minute cardio breakdown of whatever dance they were doing at that time. And then they will, at that time, there was only attain. There was no fundamental. We didn't have the floors yet. So I learned on still the wood floors, but they weren't jumpy at all.
Yeah.
So every Wednesday I went, and there would be a new dance that I would learn with Shanae or Sabina or Olivia, whoever was teaching at that time. So they would, sometimes it'd be just me and them. So it was amazing because it kind of be like a private me with them, So that was nice. And then the class after, and then of course I would come Saturday and Sunday. Sundays they would have another cardio breakdown, and that's how I learned the dances one by one. And then I stood in the back because back in the day, man, we were like packed like sardines. Not. It was, I mean, you had to either move because they were running your ass over with dance. But so you know what, I did my best, and it took me a while, but once I got the hang of it and build the stamina to do an hour cardio, it was amazing. It was rewarding. And I even got even smaller at that time because I was doing 2 hours at this time. But cardio literally shrunk me. I went from I think I was mind you, I almost at one point in my life I almost weighed 200 pounds. So to go from a size 16 and then all the way down to a size 0, which I never thought I was going to be, ever. And it is why I love this method, because if you stick to it, it will work. It does magic to your body. It did mine. So it's why I love it so much, because it keeps me young, keeps me happy. I don't have to worry about, I don't weigh myself. It drives me crazy. But I just go how my clothes fit, the only time I weigh myself is when the doctor makes me weigh myself, because I'm like, myself, I'm okay.
So we have a question from Deb in the chat, and she wants to know, how did you find streaming after being used to being in the studio for classes?
So I actually joined the streaming in December. Let me see, I had it wrote it down. So I joined the streaming December 2014. So I started with the streaming.
Right when it first began.
I started with the streaming, which I loved. So I started with that. And then I mean, when we started streaming, I don't know if you were did you join also?
It was like a year after it started.
No, I actually joined literally that month that it did launch.
That's amazing.
So that's how long I've been doing this. So at that time, there was no cardio. So I had no idea. So I had no idea there was even cardio involved, just the mat, But I would do Monday to Friday. So Monday to Friday, I would do it at home. And then Saturday and Sunday, I would go to the studio, and sometimes some Fridays.
Okay. So did you pretty much work out 7 days a week throughout?
No.
Take a rest day?
I it's hard to be, have a full-time job and kids and a family, at that time, I did have a little help, but still, after I came home, that help was gone, so I had to, be a mom and cook. So after that, normally my workouts would start about 6 o'clock till 7. And then after that, and sometimes I was that tired, I didn't want to do it. And even though the guilt got to me, you have to do it, but I'm like, mentally, if I'm not there, I know I'm not going to do it right. And I'd rather not do it. I'd rather just if my body's just telling me, you're tired, you can't do this, you need to relax, then now I allow myself to do that. If I do what my body tells me, and it's worked so far.
Yeah, definitely. So when did you find the Instagram community with the Tamily?
Uh, I think right after streaming, right? I think it started right after streaming. I was kind of shy, so I didn't know much any of the girls. So I kind of liked all their posts, but it wasn't until how do I see? That was in 2015 was I think Tammy started around 2015, and then I what is what was the question? I'm sorry.
Just how did you find the Tamily on Instagram and start posting?
So I didn't start posting until I did that it was like a program like Tracy did with the girls, the GY.
Yeah, I got your back girl challenge.
Yeah, so that's the time that I actually really started to post things.
Yeah.
May and Amy, that were my girls.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Is that so? Had you met them, I guess, like at the studio before that, or is that how you met?
I met May. The first Tamily member that I actually met was Allison, and I met her at actually Vitality Week in Studio City, and that was in when was that? That was in September 2015.
Okay.
Tracy Week there, and that's how I met Allison. And then I met May in October, a month after, and that was her first time being at the studio. She was flying on a red eye, hadn't slept. And I'm like, you're crazy. How you gonna do this? But she did. She had such an adrenaline rush. She was so happy. That was my first time meeting her and introducing her to everyone in the studio. And she loved it, and she danced. And after that, I talk to her. I talk to her almost every day. We have a chat that we talk with the girls, so I always keep in touch with her.
That's fantastic. It's such a wonderful community to take it from, especially your experience of really the studio and also streaming and Instagram.
Yeah, I do both. I don't think I think I'm the only studio member that does this that does the streaming. Most of the members, they go to the studio, and but I've gotten used to it, to do both. And so when this epidemic hit, I was already used to doing both, and a lot of them did not like they weren't used to it, and so I was like, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
And I can, and then the fact that I got privates, which I've never gone before, I was even more here and blessed to have that. So yeah, I've always been able to do both.
That's fantastic. What do you see as some of the differences?
Definitely, well, the energy,
Mm-hmm.
the energy. You're home. Hi. You're home, and no one's watching you. You can stop.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. So when I learned about the privates, when I was doing the privates with the trainers, I learned so much doing that I didn't know when I was even a member. Don't you need to kick your leg higher. You need to use your back, use your arms. It's just amazing. It's things I learned during those privates. Because they were hard. There's like, even though they were, you didn't think they were watching, but they were watching. Like Kristen would have she would have like her Kristen would have her thinking her iPad. So when I stopped, she would know. She had it behind. So when I stopped, she would stop. I'm like, how in the hell does she know I'm stopping? She knows me my app. I can see you. So they literally held you accountable. Like, no, you're not stopping. If you stop, we'll stop too. And it's kind of like, okay, you feel bad that they have to stop, and they're doing it with you. But I learned a lot about not flicking my leg, how extending my leg really high, how it's supposed to extend, not flick. And I was doing that a lot. Like, because you're trying to do the extension, but it burns, so you're not really extending. Kind of like forget about it, and like you can't really extend. But I remember Lara's like, stop flicking your leg, stop it. Oh my god, can it hurt? Yeah, so yeah, definitely, if you guys ever want to do private, you guys should do it. They're so helpful, and the girls are so wonderful, and they're there to support. So definitely try one if you can.
So Deb was asking, how are the privates different? Have you done customs, or have you done privates where you actually do attain with the trainer?
So no, so custom. I was doing privates, but so they were giving me an actual program just for me, and I was doing it twice a week. But custom and privates are different. I've never had custom because that's a different type of level, and they weren't offering it at that time. They just started offering it right, I think, around March of this year. So during the epidemic, it was only privates. So we would get 2 a week, but it was with a program built for you. So I would meet with the trainer, they would do arms, and they would do the whole program with you. With custom, they just do a couple reps and they watch you. With privates, they're doing the whole program with you. So they're feeling the pain as much as you are. They'll stop and also do and watch your form. And that's why I learned so much, because they would stop me and say, you're doing this wrong. You need to either not flick your leg, pull it in from here, pull it in from there, extend more, open your back, don't hunch, get your energy. It has to, like, now it's like, that Tracy saying to make room. I don't know if you heard her saying about now that in the streaming, you're learning how to make room. Well, that's what we were learning with. I learned with the privates to make room, because they would give me customs that I would have to make myself room to be able to extend myself. And it was harder. And the ones that really got to me was using my back. Those privates using your back are deadly. It's so, I can't even describe. I mean, there was one time that I did a private with Olivia, and I literally almost threw up. I was like, I can't. And she's like, I'm like, dude, I almost threw up. And she's all, good. Oh man, it almost killed me. But yeah, I learned a lot. I literally learned a lot. I think I've become better at the method because of them. Right. So they're very helpful, definitely.
So could you tell us about a move that you used to hate that you now love?
There's, I used to hate. Let me see. I couldn't really do the splits. I was stuck, I'm like, oh no, this is not happening. But after I did it so many times, your body just kind of like starts stretching, and now I'm able to do them. There was a couple customs that I had where I had to do splits. So that helped too. Definitely.
So, what would your advice be, especially for someone who wants to learn the dance cardio, like how they should start out to go from where you were, especially to where you are today?
So when I learned cardio, I went to the studio Saturday and Sunday, and I threw myself in there. as much as I could. I tried every day. I mean, every weekend I tried, but I would memorize some of the moves, and I would do it at home, memorizing them. I learned being in a PAC class to stay in one spot and not, moving from one place to another, because, we're all moving the same way. And so if the trainer's moving this way to doing the combo, you kind of have to learn to go their pace, so that you're not running to people. And it's kind of amazing to learn that, because once you get the hang of it, everybody in the class will do it simultaneously. So you just move. I think Emily asked me a question a couple weeks ago, how did I stay in one space? And I mean, don't go all over the place. But I told her, picture yourself in a class where it's packed and you can move, and kind of go your ways. I mean, kind of picture that and kind of move that way. That's best I can describe it. But I basically stick with one combo at a time if you can learn. I know, I think they have Catalyst now on the streaming. I think they still do. I don't know.
Yeah. There's a ton of intermediate dancing choices. Yeah.
Intermediate Catalyst is very helpful, because they're basically breaking down that one combo. And then once you're done with that, go to the next one. I think one at a time will help, and then throw yourself in the class and try to do it. Just go with this, they're repetitive. So eventually it's going to get in your head. So that's the good thing about the combos. They're repetitive. So I was able to learn them, but it took me a while. It took me about a year for me to learn. And of course the famous Kiki, that was then whenever they would tell me, oh, we're teaching Kiki, I'm like, oh my God, I am there. And oh my God, it took me forever. It took me like, I think 4 months to learn it, by heart, because it's so hard. And then there was another one that I learned, actually had to pay to do a private with, which was it was what was it? Walk and stomp.
Okay.
They don't, but I had to pay I was so obsessed with that one that I did a private to learn it, because they didn't do it very often, but it was nice to learn. Yeah.
So we have a question from Katie. She typed like a whole paragraph. But she said, when we were at the studio dancing, I noticed Maria Kay kneeling at one point and watching our feet. Do you know what she might have been looking at? Like keeping light on our feet.
Let's see. She was probably looking at the form. Was she looking at the feet or the form, or your legs, or the form?
Maybe the form.
Studio and dancing. Maria Kay kneeling at one point and watching our feet. Do you know what she might have been looking at? No, I'm thinking it's probably just the form that she was looking. I know she stopped the class because some of us weren't doing the plank correctly. She stopped it and said, "You're not doing it right. You're, something about our backs and lifting higher, and people complaining not getting results because they're not lifting higher and not doing the work. If you're not doing the work, then you're not going to get results, and you're going to complain, right? Basically. So I think." Don't know, but she did stop the class about that specific move. We were doing a plank, and I believe we weren't doing it correctly. A lot of us weren't. Then again, it was like almost 100 degrees in there.
Yeah, I've heard that studio.
I was like, oh my God, I can't do 100. I just can't. I can't. I can do like 95, 96, but after that, my body literally starts cramping, and I can't. But those Katie and Allison and Cassandra kicked ass that day. And they were like totally like, they were so excited. It was a surprise. Maria was teaching. We didn't know she was teaching.
Oh wow.
Full of surprise when she showed up to teach that class. Katie. uh, and yeah, so that was an amazing class. It was hot. It was, I think, 99, 75 or 77 humidity.
Wow.
So it was it was hot. But they killed it, and then they danced. I couldn't dance. I was tired. And the girls danced right after it.
They are amazing.
Yeah, they had a great time. I couldn't join them on Saturday because I was on vacation, but they went on Saturday and Sunday, I think, too.
Yeah. So can you tell us about your experience of going to Vitality Weeks?
I did the Vitality Week with Tracy in September 2015, and then I did it. I did it in. When did I do it again? I did it with Maria. I think 2000. I think it's 2000. I think Tracy was supposed. No, I did three actually. Yeah. So I did Studio City in 2015. I did San Diego, and I think it was Maria and Maria. I did one day of that, and then I did one day in the one Studio City in January 2020, where I met Mona, Manat. I met too. So I did one day of that, and so they're just amazing. I haven't seen Tracy in a long time, but the one that I did with Tracy was it was packed, so much energy. But I literally love Maria's. It was like, literally at one point, like I was telling Maria when I took the one in January of 2020, I was going through some stuff with my family, and I literally started crying. It's her arms were like so like literally made me. There's something like it produces. I don't know what it did, but there was so much passion to them, and it just like, oh my god, it was just amazing. It was an amazing experience. She like killed it with arms. She just does that. Like she brings it out of you. Like whatever you're experiencing in life, that she tends to take it out during arms. It's just amazing. And that whole class was, I think, one of my best. The one she did in January, and it was Maria and Olivia doing the Vitality Week. But there's so much to learn. They talk about the method, about the form, about arms, about the heat and humidity. Then you can bring that home with you, and and do that at home with all the tips that they give you. So yeah, I definitely recommend you guys doing a Vitality Week. Now I don't know if they're gonna do them because of COVID, but who knows? Someone thinks it's changed now, so we're wearing masks again at the studio.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows?
Yeah. So have you been to any other studios besides Studio City?
Just Studio City. Oh, in Brentwood.
Okay. That's not too far away, so you'll have to take a trip to New York sometime too.
Have you done to New York?
Yes.
Oh, okay. No, I want to go to New York.
Mm-hmm.
I want to meet Courtney.
Yeah. That's reason enough.
Yeah, I want Lara moved to New York too, so I love to see her too and take
That'd be
nice. I would love to go. One day. I told her one day I'll go for sure.
So have you faced any challenges in doing the method?
Yes. So I screwed up my in I remember well, I screwed up my knee right in the beginning of the method, and I doing cardio, of course, and it was just I doing jumping. I don't know what I did, and then I did it again in last summer, doing one of the live chair dances with Tracy. I heard something pop, and then after that, I'm like, and then I got up, and I'm like, oh my god, my knee is hurting me, and it hurt for a long time. And then I talked to Olivia, and I said, you know what, I'm hurting, my knee is hurting. I don't think I can do. It came to the point that I couldn't do the mat anymore. I couldn't lay my knee on the mat because it hurt. I taped it, I iced it, everything, and at this time it wasn't, it was not budging. So I talked to Olivia. She said, take, do what's best for you. Do what your body's asking. If your knee is hurting you, then you should stop. And then, so I said, let me take, I think I took 2 weeks off for my knee, and I taped it with K-tape, which is amazing. And then I started, she gave me a program standing up. It was all standing up, no kneeling. And it didn't bother me as much when doing the mat on my knees. So I did a couple programs, just custom on just chair. That's it. And it was amazing how you can get connected without you having to kneel, just using your chair and moves that she gave me like these amazing programs without me having to use my knee, and it's crazy how this method, even though you might get hurt, in my opinion, it always kind of puts it back together. You hurt yourself, it always puts it back together. And I believe that because it's happened to me already twice. There was one time that I fell at the studio. It was so slippery that I landed on my actual ankle.
Oh my God.
And when I was driving home, when I got up, I was like, oh my God, I couldn't even put my foot down. It hurt so bad. I'm like, I think I sprained my foot. So I went to Walgreens, and I bought the K-tape, and I wrapped it up and iced it. And I kid you not, the next day I was dancing at the studio again.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I couldn't even put my foot down. That's how much it hurt. But I believe on that K-tape. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but it's magic. It works. So the next day I was perfectly fine. But this time around, even though I taped it, my knee was not budging. I went to the doctor. I went to the orthopedist to see if maybe I actually hurt my knee. If something was like ripped or something. And they did they did an ultrasound, and they did a x-ray, and nothing. It was basically, so you're getting old.
You're not getting old, not with this method.
And I said, no. And he's like, are you a volleyball player? I'm like, no, I'm not a volleyball player. He goes, wow. And, I don't know if you ever, it's hard to explain a method to a doctor,
Yeah.
So I stuck with the standing programs for, I think, from September to November.
Okay.
And slowly by surely, my knee pain just started going away. It just went away. I don't know if the fact that even though I was hurt, the method was actually helping me heal, which I found it so incredible, because you're hurt, but something while you're doing the method is putting you back together, and it has. It's happened to me already twice. Now my knee doesn't even bother me at all. It's crazy. The pain that I was feeling, I said I can never. I was thinking at one point I can probably never dance again, not with this knee. It hurts so bad. But I believe if it wasn't for these, hi Loretta, if it wasn't for the actual standing programs that Olivia gave me, I don't think I would have been probably still with pain, honestly, to God. And I he never gave me type of pain medication or anything like that. I just started taking, he told me to take some supplements. I did, and that helped. And then after November, I was back on December. She gave me a program back on the mat, and I said, I think I'm good now. And she's like, "Are you sure you can do the mat on the floor?" I'm like, "Yes." And I was good after that. So it's crazy how a method that you might hurt yourself with, it will put you back together. It's crazy. And it's that kind of like magic how, you know, I kind of, it to me is like mind blowing how this method will put you back together. It's just crazy.
It is. So what do your friends and family think of the method?
They think I'm crazy. My husband's like, are you gonna start doing your jumping jacks? I'm like, yes, I'm gonna do my jumping jacks for now, so don't bug me, okay? And right now, I'm like, I told the kids and my husband, don't come asking me for food, for snacks. Just leave me alone for an hour, okay?
Yes, exactly.
Leave me alone. They're always like dad's painting on the wall. Like dad's, you know, he's right here, but I'm the only one that they go after, you know.
Right.
I have, you know, even the dogs, they start chasing me around 12 o'clock for food.
What's something important to you that you would want the Tamily to know?
Oh, not to give up on this method at all. Don't. It's hard in the beginning and it's kind of hard to understand it. And if you're looking to something new and you're looking to actually have something to change, it's going to change your body and keep you young, 100%. Just don't give up on it. If you have any questions, you can always ask me. You know, you can ask the trainers. They're always like so helpful. They're always like anything you want, they'll help you on. You know, I think that if you give yourself a chance in the method, and you follow everything like they say to do, you'll get amazing results. Like I never thought, you know, ever that I always like I look better than I'm gonna turn 49 than I was 25.
Maria, I wouldn't guess in a million years that you were going to be 49.
Yeah, 49, girl.
That is really amazing. That is
Yeah,
awesome.
I really I I look better than I did when I was 21. It's crazy.
It is.
So insane.
So, what is something that you can do now that you couldn't do before the method?
Um, Before the method, you know what? Well, I believe it's working out because when I wanted to work out, I like if I would like when I would go to maybe to a gym, I didn't know what the hell to do, you know? You're like, should I do arms? Should I do these leg lifts? I didn't know what the hell I was doing, you know? And I was I was before Tracy, I was already like, maybe I should join a gym, you know? But this, you know, because I didn't know what to do. But then again, I didn't want to get bigger, you know? And the fact that it made me smaller is crazy. I've seen it. I not only on myself, but I pregnant girls at the studio. Like literally, they look like, you know, they go through like almost like um they're ready to pop, but they're there, right? And then I don't see them until they come back, maybe a couple months later. And I literally like there was one trainer, I think Candace. Oh my God, that her transformation was crazy. She looked like somebody just sucked her in. Literally, like, her hips were like teeny. I mean, it was incredible to see her results. I mean, she's a trainer. She was a trainer at that time. But I've seen so many beautiful results with like pregnant girls and doing the method. It literally just brings you back together again. You know,
Truly amazing.
yeah. I believe so. You know, I'm a true believer in this method. I will never stop doing it. You know, even if, you know, I never did. You know, when my screwed up leg, I kept going.
You are so dedicated. You're such a good example.
Oh, thank you. Well, I had help, that best help, and I'm always there for the girls whenever they had questions. You know, this come of the girls, Tamily girls that I do talk to here and there. You know, I try to help as much as I can, like from the studio. Like there's like whenever they do live classes at the studio and the girls give out tips, I like to give them, you know, to help always out. I mean, you know, you can share the wealth, share it, you know? So yeah, I like to share my tips with the girls, sure.
What are the things that you do that are most important to you to keep balance in your life, like from a well-being perspective?
Let's see. I'm sorry, repeat the question again. I was reading some of the questions.
Yeah. What's most important to you to keep balance in your life for well-being?
Definitely, I think the first thing I like this week I wasn't so consistent, and it's gonna, you know, usually that happens to me when I'm gonna start my period. My energy is like so low, and I feel like I don't want to do anything, you know. So I wasn't so consistent this week, but I definitely first thing in the morning, my 6:30 class. It's usually an hour and a half because I do the live classes from the studio. We get the live classes, and they're now being filmed as before they weren't, which is another plus for COVID. They're now filming the classes, so I join most the classes from New York because their 9:30 class is actually our 6:30 class here, and then Studio City does a couple of the live classes, but they're later. But luckily, I work from home, so if I do the 30 class and I wake up early enough, then I'll do the 12 o'clock class. I think starting working out is like I start my day right. You know, like clears my mind. I can deal with people. You know, with kids, with my life, with my husband, you know, it's kind of like it makes me relax. You know, that's so starting with a workout in the morning. Even though my husband's like, he's like, whenever I don't get up, he's, aren't you gonna get up to do Tracy? I'm like, thanks for the reminder. Yes.
That's excellent.
So yeah, he always gets me up, even though I want to. He's like, get up, you have to do Tracy. I'm like, you're right. I have to get up. Yeah, but it clears my mind. It helps me so much throughout the day to be more productive. Sure.
So Fit Mama Jama would like to know if you've ever seen a celebrity at the studio.
Yes. Let me see. Well, we always used to see Tracy Ellis. She's such a sweetheart. Such a sweetheart. So down to earth. Let's see who else that I can think of. I heard Harry Styles was there last week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. With Maria Kelly. Is what I heard. And I heard he's gorgeous. And tall.
Wow.
Yeah. Who else did I know? And there's a couple of celebrities that I see. I think Ashley Simpson goes there. Sometimes I see her doing cardio with us. Let's see. Yeah, Sally's always there. Sally's always there. We see her all the time. Such a sweetheart too. Very inviting. Always so nice. Perfect form. She kicks ass all the time. And who else? I haven't seen some since we got back. Studio. There's less people we can. There's, I believe, because the capacity limit. There's only I don't know, but it's definitely less. So much less to be. I think it's maybe 10 people per class, if right now. So it's definitely not like it used to be because of COVID.
Yeah.
You have to be spread apart, and now we have to wear masks. So Yeah, definitely. So lately, I haven't seen a lot. But
So,
remember Teddy from Grey's Anatomy? I don't know if you guys remember Teddy. She was their surgeon.
okay.
So she was really a sweetheart too. So she used to
Oh,
work there too. Yeah,
okay.
she was a nice girl. I think I met her once, and they they're just like regular people, you know. They're just minding their own business. Um, you know, another sweetheart is oh God, Julia. Is it Julianne Hughes or Julia?
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I think it's Julianne. I think.
she used to do the Dancing with the Stars.
Hmm.
Her, yeah. So she
Oh,
kicks ass at dancing.
that is really cool.
Yeah.
So Maria, who else do you think that we should interview for Ask Tamily?
Oh, I have my list. I don't know if you guys. I love. Okay, I don't know if you guys have done Alexandra Ritchie.
I don't
Have you?
think so.
Yeah, yeah, Loretta. Yes, it's Hughes. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Julianne. Yeah, it's Julianne. She's blonde, very pretty. Yeah. So Alexandra Ritchie, she goes by Aldo.
Okay. Maybe
So
we have interviewed her. It might have been a really long time ago.
yeah, so it's been a long time, exactly. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I was going to ask you if you did, because you guys have done so many. What 100? 159?
Yes,
That's a lot.
but there's still so many more people. So, you know,
There's more Tamily girls than new ones. You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
basically, I see mostly the OGs. You know, like Loretta, Wonder Woman, Tam,
Mhm.
Carla. Hi, little Emily. And yeah, I mainly I haven't really. There's so many now, new Tamily ladies.
Yeah.
You know,
There's thousands, really.
is there?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
great.
definitely. So we can do these interviews literally forever. So in our last few minutes, Maria, is there anything else that you would like to share with the Tamily while you have this audience?
um, no, put me in the spot there.
You've been on the spot for an hour.
Gosh, goodness, I don't know. What did they want to ask me? Debate champ is so funny. You're so funny. I love your dog. Hi, Melissa.
Oh, tell us about your passion for rescuing dogs.
Okay, so um, I basically I don't rescue dogs basically, but what I do is I support the rescues. Um, there's a couple that I donate. So basically, even though I don't foster the dogs, I donate towards the you know the rescues, because if you can, or I share their posts, because social media is so amazing and it helps so many people. So I like to. There's so many homeless dogs out there that I like to help, and I really am. I'm trying to push myself to actually do a foster. But my husband, I was telling Kristen the other day, I don't think he's gonna let me. He said, "You're in a foster, and you're gonna keep them all, and then we're gonna have like 1,000 dogs in the house." And I literally, and I think he's right. I literally have to mentally say, I'm gonna keep this dog until it finds a home, and then I have to let it go. But you're a dog owner, and me letting go of my dog, I don't know if I'll be able to do that mentally. I don't think I'm there yet, you know.
Yeah.
But I did have to leave. It took me a while to get my dogs again. I had my dogs for 16 years, and a dog that my he was there when I was single. He was there when I got married. He was there when I bought my house. He was there for my birth of both of my kids. And when he was gone, and it literally shot, it broke me. It really did. So it was like, oh God, I don't know if I could go through that again, you know? It's heartbreaking. It's like, he was my kid. He was my first, you know? So losing him was really hard for me. And it literally took me like 4 years to like decide to get a dog. And if it wasn't for my youngest, my oldest saying, Mom, I want a dog, you know? We should have a dog. We have the house. We have room. And I'm like, let's do that, you know? But my husband said, no, we don't need a dog. We're gonna go through the heart pain again and all that, you know, and we convinced him to get my Akita mix. She's Akita pit bull. So we got Blue, and she's been great, amazing, right? But every time we left to go to work or to school, she would cry, and we would see her through the fur ball, and I'm like, oh my God, it breaks my heart. So my cousin decided, my uncle had puppies, German Shepherd puppies, and he said, you have to take one of the dogs. I'm like, Brian's not going to let me take another dog. He is not going to. And I literally had to beg him, like literally. He like, no, I don't know. I don't want another dog. I don't want another dog. He's going to destroy the house. And it's so funny. It's always the ones that don't want the dog who are get obsessed with the dog. He loves that German Shepherd. Like, knows Buddy's business. Like, he loves him. Loves Leo like to death. Leo's amazing, though. It's true about what they say about German Shepherds, as you know, because you have two. So loyal, you know, and they protect the family, and it's different. Blue's one thing, but Leo's totally different. He's like protective, always with us. If he's not with me, he's with one of the kids. He's never alone. So he's always like, make sure that he's around. He's not a barker though. He only barks when he's barking. I know something's up. Like whenever he decides to bark, there was like he was barking at the bush, and I'm like, why is he barking the bush? And we found a mouse, a dead mouse, and he was barking at that. So he's not really a barker, but I know. Oh, Jody, love you, Jody. Jody was actually Jody, my friend from, I don't know if Jody, let me see it. Jody Lynch, you know her, well, you didn't hear her a couple years ago. Also studio member. She was the one that, you know, she's like, you should totally, she gave me so many tips about, you know, adopting Blue. Because I didn't know shit. I'm like, I don't know anything. Oh my God, the first night it was like a baby. Literally taking care of a baby. I forgot about that, you know? So she helped me a lot. Hi, love. Yeah, so so there was a rescue called, this is Houston. And they're huge, and they do so many wonderful things for these dogs. And there's an issue in Texas regarding homeless dogs. There's a lot of them. People just dump them side of the road, or they leave them there, and it's horrible. It breaks my heart. So even though I can foster right now, I donate or I share their. Maybe someone else can maybe adopt or help or foster. You never know. So that's my passion. That's what I do. You know, when I'm doing TAM or, you know, with my family and my kids. They're about to start school too. But yeah, that's my passion.
That is wonderful.
It does. And it makes me, like, literally when I see them, you know, when they're skin and bones, and these rescues bring them back to life, and they get them a home, and they look so beautiful and happy. It's just amazing. Amazing what the transformation they make. And I don't know if you ever adopted a dog. My mom's dog is a German Shepherd, Leo's sister, and she didn't have a home. And so my mom took over, and you can tell how thankful she is. She's just so like, it's so different. The you can tell they really they're thankful for you adopting them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, you know, literally, hi Jen. It's my, yeah, so definitely, if you can adopt or foster, do it. And if you cannot, donate, then share, share the posts of a rescue dog to
Yeah,
rescue a dog. Might help.
that is definitely an excellent message from you, Maria. So thank you for sharing that too.
You're welcome.
Well, it's been an awesome hour talking to you. It's been so fantastic. Thank you for being interview 159.
Yes, it was so, thank you. I'm so grateful for you guys asking me.
Absolutely.
I'm like, they haven't asked me. God damn it.
Well, people don't have to wait for us to ask. We'll interview anybody that wants to.
5 years.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome, you guys. Thank you so much for everything, and thank you for thinking of me.
Absolutely. Thanks everyone for watching. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.